the purpose of a goal isn't to hit the goal. The purpose of the goal is to grow. And if you know how to do something or you think you know how to do something, there's no growth in that. So it's just not a good goal. And you're going to stay the same person. Happy holidays, STR Nation. Welcome back to another episode of the Short-Term Rental Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Mike Shogren, here as always with my brother from another mother, Mr. Emmanuel Pani. Merry Christmas, bro.
Merry Christmas, my brother. It'll be the first white Christmas that I've seen in a long time. So I'm excited.
Good thing you got that boardroom jacket. You have like one warm piece of clothing.
I do. It's already out of the closet and ready to go. You know what I mean? So I'm very blessed. And then we just did our very first award ceremony for SDR Secrets yesterday. And
that was fun. Our Golden Host Awards.
That was so fun. And just seeing our community and like how, dude, I remember 2018, 2019 when I came on the very first coaching call for your group, and we were like maybe 5 people, 6 people, and just there yesterday, like really having a moment to like just take it in, right? Like the community, the laughter, the friendship, the life change. Group of people that like, guys, we brought in STR Secret as a unit. Brought in over $150 million worth of revenue for hosts in the community, which is like, if we were a hotel group, we're a mighty small hotel group. And so just to think it from that perspective.
Pretty cool. 150 million in bookings in 2024. Pretty cool.
How crazy. Like, at a moment yesterday, I was like, seeing it like that, you know, because we're like, we coach and we do the thing and we do the show and we love it. But then when you sit down and like take a moment to like watch it, you get a number and you understand like, hey, what does 100 people on a Zoom look like? You get to see faces of people, that names that you've seen for so long, smiling, happy. There were some very well-dressed people in there. I unfortunately have half of my closet at my house. And so the wardrobe I have at my mom's house right now did not allow me to swag out like some of the people, but there were some shiny suits, some Christmas sweaters, and we're just, I don't know, this is the season too, right? It's such a good time.
It was fun. It was definitely fun. Yeah, man, definitely a full circle moment. You know, taking some time this week to reflect on the year and, you know, reflecting on the goals that I had, what I hit, what I missed, like what I want to regroup and focus on. I think for me, one of the really cool full circle moments was interviewing Damon John at WealthCon. That was like a truly like full circle moment. You know, that was on my vision board and my 5-year vision from 2019. Then literally almost to the day, you know, I'm interviewing him on stage in front of 2,500 people. That was pretty amazing. Again, it was just like one of those things of like, you can't, like Steve Jobs said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back. So like, you asked me in 2019 how I was going to make all that happen, I would have had no clue, but it's interesting how things unfold for you when you're clear on your vision.
Dude, you know what's funny? And I'll share this real quick. We were at a Grant Cardone conference, and that to me was one of the tipping points of who you are now. And I remember we were sitting, Phil was there. He was wearing a hideous Christmas suit, or a crazy suit of some sort. I don't know if you remember that. But I remember Mike, we were always taking notes, and then we would get back to my house at night and we would review these notes, right?
This is 2019.
Yeah, right? Yeah. We review the notes. And the guy from ClickFunnels went on stage, and then Grant was talking about like attention and how the more people talked about him, the more money he made. And Mike was writing this thing, and he had this like through decision moment. He's like, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this right here. Went up to the little thing. We were at like the Miami Marlins thing, and he went up the stairs, went to find a booth from the ClickFunnels guys. I think it's the people that you went to, and you're like, I'm doing it. And he came back. He's like, I signed up. It's like, I don't know where I put it all on this credit card. There's gonna be no space on the credit card, but I made a decision. And dude,
I did that thing, and I did John Maxwell's program too. I think I spent $5,000 or $6,000 at that event, which I did not have at the time at all.
But then you haven't looked back since.
No, right? And if you look at the vision statement that I wrote on the flight home from there, and the vision board I made on the plane on the way home. Um, I had like 5 or 6 properties at the time, maybe. I owned one, I was managing 4 or 5. And I just wrote out this huge vision of what I wanted my life to look like in 5 years. And it's pretty crazy, man. Like I've gotten all of it. Like everything from like doing this podcast, starting a coaching program, having an event, like owning a beach house, having a house in the mountains, like everything, dude. Crazy. All the way down to like what we were joking about offline of like having housekeepers that come to my house and, I don't cook anymore. I had somebody wrapping my Christmas presents and, Danny was making fun of me, but I'm like, all the little things that I only spend time doing things that I want to do now. Like, and to me, like, that's the freedom. Like, yes, every once in a while, things come up and you got to handle them and you've got responsibilities or whatever. But to me, the more I can optimize my time to get enjoyment and fulfillment out of life, that's the name of the game. That's a tool. Money's a tool, man. Money just allows you to buy back more of your time. Like that's what it's for. And to create experiences, and have an impact. Like it's not meant to just hoard in a bank account and just be rich. Like that's stupid. So yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. So on that note, we were doing some research before this episode. According to the data, by the second week of February, 80% of New Year's resolutions are broken. And apparently only 8% are kept by the end of the year. That is a brutal number, right? And so we were talking offline about what could we share with you today that's helped us continue to hit big goals consistently year after year. And what are the frameworks and the techniques that we use to continue to push ourselves to elevate? And to me, it starts with having clarity. Everything starts with clarity. I feel like most people just pick a goal out of thin air and they don't really think about why they want it. It just sounds good or whatever. But the first step is to really think about what do you actually want, right? And a mentor of mine shared this. It's called the goal pyramid. And I shared it at WealthCon actually. Most people set goals. If you think of this triangle, the bottom rung of that triangle is setting goals based on what you know you can do, right? So say you've got, I don't know, one property right now. You could get another one next year. You could figure out how to get one more, right? The next rung is setting goals based on what you think you can do. Like, you can get one, but I think I could get two. I think I could probably get 3 next year, right? But then there's what you actually want, like up here. And you don't know how to get that, but this is what you actually want. This is where you need to be setting your goals, up here in that upper quadrant of what you actually want. Because what happens is the purpose of a goal isn't to hit the goal. The purpose of the goal is to grow. And if you know how to do something or you think you know how to do something, there's no growth in that. So it's just not a good goal. And you're going to stay the same person. Of the biggest gift that I got over the last 5 years, almost 6 years now, is like the growth that I've had as a person. Like if you want to drastically increase your income, you're going to have to level up as a person, like just in general, overall, like all of your soft skills, your communication skills, your emotional intelligence, your leadership skills, like your decision-making, everything, how you handle conflict, like all of that, you're going to have to level that up and it doesn't happen overnight. So we start with clarity, setting goals based on what you actually want and being very clear about what it is, right? He and I talk to people all the time and we ask them, what's your goal? And the bulk of people will say, I want financial freedom. And I'm like, great. What does that actually mean? Because your definition of financial freedom and my definition and E's definition and Danny's definition are going to be very different. So what is that number that you need to hit to become financially free? To cover your bills, to cover your living expenses, to cover your lifestyle. What is that number for you based on the lifestyle that you want to have? There's so many variables in that equation. And if you don't know, you need to think about it. If you want to ball out and drive a G-Wagon and fly private and do all these things, that's cool. That's a different level of financial freedom and a different lifestyle than if you're like, man, I love a simple life. I don't wear designer clothes. I don't care what kind of car I have. I just want to be able to travel to these destinations 4 times a year, and this is what I want. Neither of them is right or wrong. It's just, what do you want? And you have to understand what that is and be clear about it. And why do you want that?
And I cannot tell you how rare that is. Because I've been doing a lot of coaching calls now and a lot of sales calls. And what I really have realized is most people, everybody, it's a human condition. To want more is to be human is to want more. The amount of people that, first of all, have just a feeling of absolute guilt when they're telling you what they want, and they minimize it. And so as you're listening to this show, start becoming familiar with that voice, because you have a voice that, as Mike shared everything that he shared up until now, it's coming up with some kind of story, right? And understanding who that voice is going to be the biggest favor you can do to yourself for this year and the years to come, because it's understanding your habitual way of thinking.
I mean, the biggest awareness I had in business, and it came from a book called Psycho-Cybernetics that we talk about all the time. I sent a copy to every single person on our team for Christmas with some other stuff. Because I'm like, if you get this, your life will just drastically change. Is your success is limited by your self-image. Like, it literally defines what you can and can't do. And I'll give you an example. If I told you you're going to make $1 million in 2025, if you've never made more than 100 grand in a year, you're going to be like, that's not possible. Like, I don't know how to do that. But if I told Jeff Bezos you're going to make $1 million in 2025, he'd be like, no, I'm going to make a lot more than that. Like, what are you talking about? Right? It's all in the self-image, and it dictates how you operate every single day. If you don't feel like you can actually hit the goal, subconsciously, you're not going to go for it. You're just not. So the key is once you have clarity around that goal, you want to start picturing yourself hitting the goal over and over and over again. The easiest example I can give, non-monetary, is in 2018, I ran the New York Marathon. I had never run a marathon before in my life. Like, probably never ran more than 5 miles in my life. And Boston Children's Hospital called and said, hey, we put a team of runners together every single year, and each runner sponsors a patient, and we'd love your son's story, and he's super cute and all these things. We'd love a runner to sponsor your son, and they'll basically iron his picture on their chest, on their bib, and all this stuff. And I'm like, cool. I would love that if I can be the runner. And they were like, well, do you run? And I said, I have 2 legs. Yes, I can run. And they said, no, do you run marathons? And I said, I'm telling you right now, if you give me that slot and you iron my kid's face on my jersey, I will finish 26.2 miles, period. Right? And there was a strong reason behind it, like an emotional tie for it. And I was willing to make the sacrifices to hit that goal, meaning I was willing to go on 4 training runs a week while working a full-time job, with having a sick kid and a wife and all these other things. I just slept faster, as Arnold Schwarzenegger would say, and I made it happen. I was willing to make that trade-off. Whatever your goal is, are you willing to make the sacrifices and trade-offs in order to hit that goal? Because nothing is for free. Right? That's called debt, right? If you want to earn it, are you willing to make the sacrifices? Are you willing to go to the gym? Are you willing to invest in your business? Are you willing to invest in a coaching program or a skill set or something, like whatever that gap is that you're going to have to jump through? Are you willing to do that? And if you're not, cool, find another goal. Like, don't even waste your time. If you're not going to pursue this thing with a level of obsession to make sure that you hit it, don't even set the goal, because you're just wasting your time and you're losing integrity with yourself. Because every time you set a goal and you don't see it through, your confidence goes down. Why? Because you're making promises to yourself, the most important promises that you can make, and you're not keeping them. So stop that. If you're not going to see this thing through, don't even set it. Start holding yourself to a higher standard. And the beauty is you can start that right now. Just make that commitment to yourself.
I love that. And when I'm honest with my life, I can see the years that I didn't do that. Right. And I can remember backwards the first time that I let it be okay for something not to get finished, and what that meant for me, and how that has been something that I retrained in my life now. Like, to have standards is something that I retrained in my life now because I made it okay for it not to be. The other thing that I love that you share so far that's super important for me as I look back and forward is I had a big goal that I really wanted and I didn't think I could get it. And then when I got it, my self-image didn't upgrade with that goal. So the story I created for myself is like that was a fluke, right?
You got lucky.
That was luck, right? And that has prevented me. Like, I haven't bought something for myself since 2023, right? Given I've gone through a divorce over the last 2 years and everything else, and just life, I've let other things get in the way. But I also didn't have a goal. I had general habits and standards that I had set for myself. For example, my workouts are not a goal, they're a habit. So even without having a fitness goal, did I hit 95% of my workout? Absolutely. But that wasn't a goal. It's a habit, right? So understanding that component too, when it comes to the cost and the plan, is most people confuse the plan with the goal. And then once the plan doesn't work out, they give up on the goal. And I've had this call with somebody and they're like, well, you cannot guarantee that that's going to happen. I'm like, not the way you think I can, but I can guarantee you that the end result is going to happen as long as you keep trying. So the plan can change, the goal cannot. And the self-image, and that's why I was telling you to like become aware of that little voice that you hear. That's your self-image, right? That's the self-image that is like, I saw a new car got revealed today, beautiful Porsche. As it comes, it's like 400. My little voice was like, ain't never gonna happen. And I was like, whoa, excuse me, what are we doing right now? But that's always there. And so as you set these goals and in understanding that and understanding how you make the decisions and how you change your results, who's making your decisions? Because I know Mike, and it's not this Mike that makes the decisions about his life. It's a Mike that is somewhere 3, 4, 5 years ahead. Would you agree with that? Because your current Mike is going to make the decision that keep this current reality here. So if we got to change your reality, we got to change who's making the decisions.
And it's easier said than done, but you'll know when you're at that point because your intuition is going to tell you to do something. Like take a speaking gig or invest in a property or invest with a coach or do something, and you're going to be uncomfortable, but you know it's the right thing to do. Those are the moments where you're either going to step through that fear barrier with some courage and say, I'm not backing down. This is what I need to do. I'm going to keep pushing, or you're going to retreat. It's those two things. But when you set that goal and you commit to that goal, to your point, I don't care what the plan is. The plan can change. Napoleon Hill talks about it in Think and Grow Rich. What's not important is the definiteness of the plan. It's the definiteness of the goal, of the end destination. So if you find the plan isn't working, cool, you can adjust the plan, but you're still moving towards that goal. And when you go after that thing and there's no plan B and you're not going to tolerate anything except the end result that you want, you will have it. When you just develop this relentless set of persistence and just not accepting anything but what you want, you'll have it. It's a law. Now, there will be things that come up, which is what I want to talk about next. You know, one of my favorite books, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. There's going to be things that happen in life to try and throw you off, right? You know, your kid gets sick and you're sleeping like crap. You know, you got to get up at 4:30 to go to the gym before the chaos of the day starts. That alarm goes off and you got 4 hours of sleep last night and you're just like, all right, I'm just going to take a day. I'm just going to miss today. But the problem is now you've negotiated with yourself. And now you've let yourself know that it's okay if I bend on my standards. It's okay if I bend on my goals. And it has this brutal ripple effect. Because then the next thing you know, all right, you're sleeping in, and then you're like, you know what? Instead of the egg whites, I'm going to grab a bagel on the way to the office. I'm already running late anyway. And then it's like, oh, I didn't prep my meal. So you know what? I'm just going to grab some takeout from, I don't know, I'll go a healthy route and I'll get, I don't know, some fried fish, a fried fish sandwich or something. And it just it keeps compounding. Like these things come up. And what I found works best for me are three things. Anytime I am serious about hitting a goal, I will do three very specific things. One, I will find somebody that's already done it and I will pay them for their time to tell me how they did it. Two, I will get some type of framework or books, like research, whatever I need to do, information on the overall strategy. And three, I will surround myself with people that are going after similar goals or already hit them that will support, encourage, and challenge me and not let me off the hook. And I will meet with them every week and I'm like, hey, here's the goal. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm going after. Here's what I'm going to get done this week. And I will not show up on that call having not done what I said I was going to do.
Mhm.
It's insulating myself from the outside world because most people don't operate this way. Most people that care about you, if you're having a bad week or some things come up, they'll be like, you know what, don't worry about it. It's okay. You'll get back on it next week. No, you don't want that. You want people that are like, listen, you said you wanted this. I know you're tired. So what? Do it anyway. You're better than this. This isn't you. You need those people in your ear that are going to push you, not let you off the hook. The people that are letting you off the hook, they're not the ones that are going after big goals and dreams. They're not. And that's okay. But you want more than that. If it was easy, everybody would be wealthy. Everybody would be ripped. Everybody would be in peak physical condition. Everybody would have amazing relationships. But where's the juice in that if it's easy? If the Ferrari was 20 grand, nobody would care about Ferrari. If the 911 Targa was 50 grand, nobody would care. It's only because they charge 200 something thousand for that thing that it's cool. And it's a fun car. Again, it goes back to if the goal isn't big enough, it's not even rewarding when you hit it because you knew you were going to do it. It's like setting a goal to brush your teeth in the morning. Yeah, you're going to do it. So like, why even set the goal?
That's so good. On that point, a couple of things super tactical that work for me. The days that you don't feel like it, it's not a question if they come, they will come. It's mathematical, right? So don't assume that they're not going to come because then you're setting up yourself for failure. When they come, the conversations that I have with myself is one is carve out a moment of time for your new self to show up to the conversation. So the moment you want to hit the snooze button, if you wait a second, there is the moment where your new self will come inside that conversation. And what I tell myself is like, just one more day. I don't feel like doing this today. Okay, just one more day. If you still feel this way tomorrow, we can take tomorrow off. And then the next day is just one more day. Just one more phone call, one more message, one more SOP video, one more note taking, whatever that task is, right? Like one more day. And then the next part is I am not allowed to quit if I'm not winning. Because the conversation with myself is, would I quit if I was getting everything that I wanted? And the truth for me, and this is my truth, is that it's never been the case. Anytime I'm winning, I don't want to quit. So the question is, okay, you can quit when you win. Just give me one win, and then you can quit. So if you're losing, for example, the gym, if you're not losing weight, just give me a week where you go down a pound and tell me if you still feel like quitting. And then the last piece is it's an average. So the way that I like to think it visually, it's white pebbles and black pebbles. And the game is not for the end of the year for you to only collect white pebbles. It's just for your white to be more than your blacks. That's all it is. So even if you want to do it visually, get them. And at the end of the day, you put it in a bowl, a white pebble or a black pebble. And the only rule is not 2 black pebbles 2 days in a row. Right? Let's just try to break that up immediately and then just get better. And be proud. You are successful now. The moment you start on this journey, you decide this and this is what you want for yourself, you're living a successful life. You're there. It's happening. Just don't stop. When you get close to the stop, and I'll let Mike talk, and you're getting close to the end of your goal, that you can feel it, you can taste it, prepare yourself mentally for the celebration, and let's move on. Because when the villas closed, I wasn't ready. I didn't have my next goal. I didn't know what it was. And then COVID happened. And then just the rest of it, and time flies. Like I look back up now, 4 years later, 5 years later, I'm like, holy cow, I've been kind of goalless for the most part for the last 3 years.
Habitual, man.
Mm-hmm.
So the last tip that I will give you, and this is something that I learned from a mutual mentor of ours, is to write your goal in the present tense and write it on a goal card. So keep this goal card in my pocket. So anytime I reach for my keys or my phone or whatever, my fingertips feel that goal card, and subconsciously it reminds me about what I'm going after throughout the entire day. And you write it in the present tense. I'm so happy and grateful now that my real estate business is generating $20,000 a month of profit. So happy and grateful now that I'm this weight and 10% body fat, whatever it is. Write it in the present tense. Whatever your primary goal is that you're going after, big goal that you want to stay focused on, write it down. Keep it on a goal card. Keep it in your pocket on you all the time. That's it, man. Just get after it. So this was a fun one. If we can help you at all, don't hesitate to DM E or myself or send an email to support@STRsecrets. We've got the free Short-Term Rental Secrets Facebook community. We do live trainings in there every single week. We have a free lead that we will go and find and post in that group every single day. So if you're looking to build your co-hosting business, we literally give a lead away every day for free. For free in there. So, and it's a great way to engage with the community. We've got, I think we're over 9,000 members in there now. It's totally free. And Eddie and I are both active in there. Mike Riley, our COO, is active in there. All of our coaches are active in there, and it's free.
And a great place for you to find support. That's how Mike and I met, right? Like, it's just go, if you don't have support in your day-to-day life, there's people online that have the same goals that you have, that you get to meet and grow real friendships with, that will hold you accountable more than your family, than your friends, than people in your current life. And all we need you to do is just be protective of that goal. Be protective of this goal that you're setting yourself this week for the first 2 months of the year. Like all you need is 90 days. 90 days, and life changes forever. Because then it's a new habit of thinking, a new habit of how you deliver, how you shop for yourself. 90 days.
Raise those standards, baby. Well, this was fun. I could rant on this all day because it's completely changed my life. I know it's changed your life. And I know it'll change your life listening to this and executing on it. So appreciate all of you. Welcome to 2025 in 2 days?
Mm-hmm.
Hope you guys have an amazing week. We'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, guys.